opposition to the war in Iraq, and if I hadn't resigned then, I'd resign right now. We appeal to all the people in the State Department to say no to Condoleezza Rice. Put down your pens, put down your computers, turn them off. Tell Condoleezza Rice and the Bush administration that they are again committing war crimes. Condoleezza Rice, stop this. We, the United States, have to stand for a ceasefire to stop the killing and the deaths of innocent civilians. It is unbelievable that you are saying, let him go, let him do it till the last Hezbollah person is dead, till the last Lebanese is dead. That is not what America stands for, and stop this. Stop this.
And what kind of job do you think?
Yeah, my name is Wright, and I'm a former U.S. diplomat, resigned in opposition to the war in Iraq back in March of 2003. And I'm a former military officer, 29 years in the Army. I retired as a colonel, and I am horrified on both levels, as a military officer and as a diplomat, of the behavior of the United States government and the Bush administration. It is criminal what they're doing, that they're standing back and not using their influence at all to stop this senseless killing on both sides, on both putting pressure on Hezbollah through other actors and of course through the Israeli government, where the United States has incredible influence. This standing back and letting the war go on as innocent civilians, and the hundreds are killed and probably thousands before this is over, it is certainly not diplomacy. It is war making by the Bush administration on yet one more part of the world.
As a former diplomat, do you think Iran is fueling this whole chaos in the Middle East?
I don't care who's fueling it, it just needs to end, and then sort it out later. But right now, I mean, everybody can poke their fingers at everybody around the world. You can say the United States is certainly complicit in this too, because we're not doing anything to stop the killing. What we're here today is to say the killing must stop on both sides. Hezbollah must stop its rockets, and the Israelis must stop the indiscriminate bombing of Lebanon.
As you know, Fuad Senora didn't want to see Condoleezza Rice. Do you think that was a good reaction?
Well, probably so. I mean, when the United States is just standing back doing nothing, saying, when you have John Bolton say this thing must go to its end, when you have our senior policy officials of the United States government essentially saying, that's fine, just go after Hezbollah and the people of Lebanon until Lebanon is wrecked again, and until you kill as many Lebanese as you possibly can. And that is not America, that is not diplomacy. It is merely the Bush administration, an administration that has already committed war crimes in Iraq, and their complicity in what's going on right now in Lebanon, I believe, certainly fits the bill of the war crimes. And when you have Antonio Gonzalez, the Attorney General, now saying to the administration that we have to have some new laws because you guys are now complicit. You can be charged with war crimes, and so we've got to change the law of the United States to say you can't be held accountable for war crimes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Places like Nicaragua, Grenada, Somalia, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Sierra Leone. I helped reopen the embassy in Afghanistan in 2001, and my last assignment was in Mongolia. I resigned from the diplomatic corps in March of 2003 in opposition to the war in Iraq. And so from 2003, I have been totally against the policies of the Bush administration. And I am here today to protest yet one more failure of the Bush administration in its foreign policy, where the United States has great influence in the region on the Israelis, and there are ways that pressures can be put on Hezbollah to know that the United States wants to be even-handed on what's going on. The Bush administration has not been even-handed. They have taken sides. They have said that they don't care how long the war takes. There should be no ceasefire, and just kill all the Hezbollah. And that is not reflective of what America wants. We don't condone the kidnapping of Israeli soldiers, and we certainly don't condone an unbelievably disproportionate response by the Israelis. And we want both sides to stop the killing of innocent civilians. Nothing can be resolved by this. And so we are pleading with Condoleezza Rice. Not pleading, we're telling them there has to be a ceasefire, and America has to be a proponent of it, and not the sponsor of the war.
What's your name?
My name is Wright.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, Ann, I have a follow-up question. With respect to your leaving the State Department, what was it specifically? Was it the preemption doctrine of Wolfowitz that turned you off?
Well, that, and also knowing that us invading and occupying a country that did nothing for the United States was going to infuriate all the people of the world, and that would generate people who would take actions against the United States, that they would go into Iraq and join with the people of Iraq that do not want their country invaded and occupied. And we knew, anybody that knows the Middle East knew what was going to happen, that it would not be a cakewalk, we wouldn't be met with flowers, that we would be met with arms and ammunition aimed right at us, and particularly the policies that said the disbanding of the Army, and the Army knew where all the caches of ammunition and weapons were, so they're using the stuff that we handed to them. Essentially, we didn't take control of those ammo dumps and the weapons armories, and then we disbanded the Army. So what else would happen?
Now, Ann, you not only resigned, but you've taken stands. You went to jail recently because your moral concern, your legal concerns about what's going on. How do you feel about that? You think you're doing the right thing?
I've been arrested twice in the last 2 weeks. One was for the confirmation hearing of William Haynes, one of the architects of torture, who's being nominated to be on the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals. Totally, I mean, how outrageous that he is already a criminal and they're going to put him as a judge. The second one was I joined 5 people in front of the White House gates last Friday to try to blockade Tony Blair inside the White House to force them to talk about peace. We lasted about 45 minutes before the police came after us. But it's symbolism to say to Blair, we want, and the people of England want, this war ended in Iraq.
Now, you've been traveling all over the country and back. You live in Hawaii, don't you?
Yes.
So you've been seeing a lot of people. Do you think the mood in the country's changing towards this war?
70% of the American public say the war has to end. 82% or 87% of the Iraqis say the U.S. needs to get out. It's definitely changed. Definitely changed.
Thanks, Ann.
Thank you so
Keep up the good work.
Thanks.